Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Rama, and in today's video, I am going to be breaking into this week's deals and discounts plus bonus money in Grand Theft Auto Online. So, as always, if you enjoy this type of content, especially knowing in depth on what is good and what is bad, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, and consider joining my Discord for daily uploads and updates on the game. So, let's get straight into it. Also, let me know if you like the face cam on or off. It doesn't really matter to me which option I choose, so really just depends what you guys want. Starting off, we have the Zentorno as the podium vehicle. I love the Zentorno, and even though it's definitely an outdated supercar, it's still actually pretty surprisingly good on its handling, and it's not actually awful in terms of performance. It's just nothing insane, especially with newer vehicles like the Tempesta, and, you know, a lot of the new cars like the Turismo Maggio, the Emirates, the Krieger. They kind of leave it in the dust. But it's a free car if you get it on the podium, plus it has a bunch of new liveries and customization going for it. So, yeah, really fun vehicle. On the prize ride, we have the Ardent. The Ardent it's alright. I mean, it's an not armored, but weaponized vehicle, as it actually has front-mounted machine guns you can put in those little slots we can see right here. And the front-mounted machine guns are okay. They don't really do anything. I mean, some people like them. I personally could care less, just because they don't really do anything. But yes, the Ardent is the prize ride. To get your hands on this vehicle, you are going to have to get top 5 4 days in a row. So you are going to have to play a lot of races. As always, I always recommend just to find a friend and do a race with him. Let him win one. Well, actually, it doesn't even matter. If you finish first and second place, both of you are technically getting top 5. So you just need to do a race with a friend once every day this week. So again, make sure to join my Discord, meet up with people that play on your platform, and you can get your hands on the Ardent for absolutely free. We have a new vehicle being added into the game this week, the Vog Hammer. This is the Mercedes AMG Hammer, obviously, and I just love the look of this car. I don't remember exactly how much it cost, but making our way over to southern San Andreas, we can see it is $1.8 million. This will also be the last drip feed vehicle added to southern San Andreas. Rockstar has actually done a surprisingly good job adding drip feed vehicles into the game. Normally they really drag it out, but this time, Rockstar's done a pretty good job. Almost every week we've had 1 or even 2 new vehicles added, which is really surprising, but it also makes me quite happy. I really like the Vog Hammer. This is my personal one I've already customized, and the vehicle looks amazing. It's got great customization going for it. You should be warned, it is in the sedans class. It's not a sports car, so it's not incredibly maneuverable, and it's one of the fastest sedans, but it's nothing really close to something like the Reinhardt. But it is still a fun vehicle to mess around with. I love the customization. I think Rockstar did a really good job on the Vog Hammer. Then we move on to this week's discounted cars, and there's not too many. There's only 5 vehicles in total. Starting off, we have the Dinka Postlude. This vehicle is normally $1.3 million. This week, you can get it for $900,000. Personally, I don't really care too much about the Postlude. It's not that fast. Its handling is pretty mediocre. It's one of the worst tuner cars in the game, personally, and I don't really love the way it looks either. I mean, there's definitely some people out there that do like the way this vehicle looks and want to get their hands on it. And if you do, it's not too expensive at only $900,000-ish, so at least there's that. But personally, I just think it's kind of a goofy vehicle. To be fair, the customization on it is really bad here, so it kind of puts it in a bad light. But still, it's, I don't know, it's kind of goofy. So that is the Postlude with its really mediocre handling. After the Postlude, we arrive to another tuner vehicle, this one being the Dinka Conjo SJ. And the Conjo is actually pretty fun. It's not the fastest because it is in the coupes class, but it's one of the better coupes in the game. It's got a lot of customization going for it. I actually really like the design of this vehicle, and it's got just a lot of customization. That's really what you can expect from the tuners' vehicles. If you want to make a vehicle your own with customization akin to that of like Benny's Original Motorsports, this is the way to go for it. Normally this vehicle is $1.4 million. You can get it for $950,000 this week. It's a decent deal. I'm not going to say that this is the best car ever because again, it's a coupe. It's nothing incredible in terms of performance, but if you really care about performance, you can pull out an Oppressor Mark II or a Sparrow and you'll beat any car by a mile. So I think it's a pretty cool car, and I don't really have many complaints. This is a vehicle that was literally discounted just a couple weeks ago, and it's interesting to see it being brought back again. My guess is that Rockstar did not have a lot of these sold, so they said, fine, we'll bring it out again. This being the Gauntlet Bravado Hot Ring Hellfire. And I really like this vehicle. It's got the little air brakes on the top, which are really, really cool. They give you more downforce, which allows you to turn better in the corners. And not only that, the vehicle is fairly inexpensive. Normally it's $1.8 million, but this week, because of the discount, you can get it for $1.25. I think that's a really good deal, personally. I think if you don't have this car, I would highly recommend to pick it up. It's fun to mess around with. It's got a lot of liveries, and it's just a really cool vehicle. Plus, it looks awesome. I mean, I love the way this car looks. It's got crazy good acceleration. It's pretty fast as well. So I actually don't have any complaints about the Gauntlet. And I would highly recommend for anybody that wants to get it, definitely pick it up this week. We have another really good car here, this one being the Ubermacht Reinhardt. The Reinhardt is in the sedans category, which you might think means it's pretty mediocre. However, that's actually not the case. This is probably one of the best sedans, I would say, in the game. I mean, it's the second fastest sedan, only beaten out by the Schafter V12 Armored, and that's pretty impressive when you think about it. And lap time-wise, this is just as good. Plus, it's got really good customization, fantastic liveries. This is what my personal Ubermacht Reinhardt looks like, and I really like this vehicle. I have no complaints about it. Now, I might be biased because my parents actually owned one of these a couple of years ago, and I really like the car, so I can't complain too much, but still, it's a really nice vehicle, and it's pretty cheap. It's only normally $1.6 million, so this week you can get it for $1.1 million. And that brings us to the final vehicle that is discounted this week, being the Western Reaver. Now, the Reaver is actually the fastest car / motorcycle in the game, even if you are adding in some of these speed boosts. Now, to be fair, I think some HSW vehicles might be able to beat it now if you are playing on next generation console, but I don't play on next generation consoles. So if you're playing on PC or Xbox One or any of the older consoles, the Reaver is the fastest vehicle in the game. It goes at around 170 miles per hour. So really the only vehicle that is close to it is the Stinger TT, which is the fastest Amani Tech vehicle in the game. Yeah, the Reaver is just insane. When you do wheelies, it is able to accelerate up to ridiculous levels of speed. And I actually really like the Reaver. As I said, I think it's fun to drive. It's really good on customization. Normally it's $1.9 million. This week you can get it for $1.3 million. So I don't think that's a bad deal either. So I really don't have any complaints. And I would highly recommend, if you don't own the Reaver, that you pick it up, because it is easily the best motorcycle in the game. And if you're looking for a way to complete easy weekly time trials, the Reaver is the way to go. So that's what I would say. There's one more thing that I thought I would talk about, and that is the fact that we have triple money on taxi work this week. Taxi work is, well, it's all right. I mean, I think if I remember, you'd earn around $8,000 to $9,000 with the buffs to taxi work each delivery. So that means if Rockstar has tripled it, we're going to be earning upwards of $20,000 to $25,000 maybe per taxi job. That's actually a surprising amount of money. And it might make taxi work actually worthwhile. I mean, if you're able to do a delivery once every 3 minutes and you're making $20,000, yeah, you actually could make some decent cash. I mean, I've talked about it in the past. If Rockstar does triple money on taxi work, it might not be awful. So we're going to find out. I'll obviously be having a whole guide on that tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned on the channel so you can get first look at what is going on with taxi work. And by the way, you can see the speed of the Reaver here, 140. Oh god, but this is the problem when you're driving a motorcycle like the Reaver, is you're able to just go way too fast and then die. Oh yeah, that brings us to the final discount I thought I'd talk about, which is the stun gun. This week, the stun gun is discounted 50% off, and the stun gun is actually a surprisingly expensive purchase. It's normally like $200,000. So the fact that you can pick up the stun gun on a pretty decent discount is actually not too bad, and it it does actually do quite a bit of damage. Plus, if you plan on messing around with bounty work, it's a good way to disable whatever that target is without having to worry about killing them accidentally. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video and deals and discounts. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.